So you have a front-end submission and you want people to allow to send to post something on your website, and you will have a couple of forms, and with one form you have a subscription where they have to pay for the post, and I already showed you how you can make payments in a fluentform because that's the plugin that we're going to discuss in combination with Uncanny Automator. So the scenario is that somebody fills in the form and they post something on the website, and that post will be deleted in a certain amount of time. So when you want to have them posted for example, 2 days, then after 2 days the post will automatically delete it, and you can do whatever you want. You can also make it 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years. It's all up to you. And then you have, of course, the other subscriptions. There are paid members, and they can post something and it will stay longer on the website. So this is just a basic scenario, but of course, you can do whatever you like. This is just an example. Now, if you want to know how you can also delete permanently the media when a post is deleted, then watch the other tutorial. I explained it in another tutorial. But that's very handy because then what happens when the post is deleted after a certain matter of time, then also the media will be deleted. So they are completely gone. And there's nothing on your database. It will only fill up your database. And what you also can do, and that is what I'm showing you later on, is to delete the entries. So nothing will get stored in the database. And in the last thing that I want to tell you is that the user has the right to be forgotten. So when they press in a button, they get an email, then all the data of the user will be deleted. But first things first, so the scenario was we made a form in fluentform CRM, fluentform Pro, and then when they submit the form, then there will be a post. So let's just do that and see what happens. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit ill. And so I am now here in incognito. Just gonna fill in some post number one, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. So, and then taxonomy, and then we will send it to the websites, and then we see here that it will be edits. So this is post one. This is the blah 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 post. It's just a blah 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 post, and we refresh it, and then you see that it's deleted, and it's permanently deleted, so it won't be stored in the database. Now, so that is one thing that we are going to do is first, of course, you have to make the form. I already did that, and it must be a form for the post forms. So this is the particular form, and the only thing that you have to do is make the form and connect it with the custom post types that you've made. When you want to know how you can do that, watch the other tutorials. I've made also a tutorial about that, and also with WooCommerce. But what you can do, what you don't have to do, is embed a hidden fields. And when you have the hidden fields, then you can choose for embed post ID. So it will store the post ID, and you can also duplicate it and use the user ID. So when you go in here and then you delete this one, so it can be deleted. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit ill. And then you can choose for the user ID. Let's see, this is the user ID. And then of course you also have to change the name attributes, because if you don't do that, then it won't work. User ID, and then you can save the whole thing. So when you want to use it in other use cases, with, for example, with other plugins that is required to have the values, the tokens, then you can do that in here. But we don't need it in this case because lucky enough, Automator has an integration with fluentforms. So when we go to the Automator and we see what we have made, the trigger, the recipe, then you can see that it's in here. And what we have done is we have chosen for when a user publishes a post type with any taxonomy. Now this is the post type that I've made in Quirkerblock. So I've made the post type and it's in here, the post type. And then of course also the taxonomy. I also made it in Quirkerblock, but it is not necessarily for Quirkerblock. You can choose whatever you want, your preference, plugin or something that you like to work with. And the other thing is that I have chosen for the form that we have made in Fluent Forms. So this is the form for the front end submission for the posts. And then I save the whole thing. You see, this is, well, let me just make another trigger so you can see exactly what I mean. So you're going to the WordPress and then you're choosing for any user publish any taxonomy or posts. A user, so it's not a specific, but it's all taxonomies. Let's see, a user publish a post with a taxonomy term in a taxonomy. So it's this one. And then you can choose the post type that you have made. So in this case, it's this one. And then any taxonomy in any term. But of course, you can also use a specific taxonomy or term when you want that. It's all up to you. So I'm going to delete this one so it makes no confusion. Now the other thing that I have done is of course the action, and the action is move post with post ID to task. So you have to choose for the post type and then the post ID. So you're going in here and then you're going down to and select the action or the trigger that we previous have embedded in here. So when you scroll all down, then you can see it in here. So it's this one. Let's see, because when you see what I've done, when you scroll on top of the page, then it will open and you can work better. So then you tick on this one. One or the other way, it doesn't work now. Okay. So I press this one and then I choose for the post ID. So this is the one that you have to choose. Now it's double, so it makes no sense. But anyway, that's the way you do it. And then you can choose for also permanently delete from task. So it's gone forever. Now this is the important thing. The trigger will run when all, so both of them, are completed. But you can also choose for any, and then it will work with any of one of the triggers. But in this case, we want them to work only when all the triggers has been completed, so that it will only work when the form is submitted. Because when I didn't that, so when I didn't embed the form as well in here, then it wouldn't work for the form, and it will, yes, it would work for the when I'm doing it here in the admin area, but not when somebody posts it with the form. So when you see here that I've chosen for all, so both must be running. And when I'm going to the post type, and you see here that I have one post type, then I make a new post type, and I say post admin number 3, and the rest is not so important, blah blah blah. So I'm sorry, I'm sick. I got a little bit cold. Then you see that it will stay. So even when we refresh the page, it won't go away. It will stay there forever until you delete it. Um, One other thing that you can do, please, and don't forget to make the time zone. So when you go into the settings, then make sure that you have the right tide zone. So in this case it's Amsterdam because I'm living in the Netherlands, but choose the right tide zone from your country here down in the list. And speaking about time, when you go into this recipe, of course you can also make filters. So when you go in here, then you can choose for the times that the post is posted. So for example, I only do this when it's has been running 4 times or five times. But what you also can do is make a delay, and you can schedule it, of course, of a particular date, or in minutes, hours, days, or years. So, and I already told you in the previous tutorials how you can use how many times per user. So how many times can they do that? And also the end time, so you can choose a date, and don't forget to make this recipe only for logged in users, because it only will work for the logged in users. So that is important. Now, did I say everything that I have to say? I think that there is more to say, but not for today, and that's probably better for another tutorial. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later, guys.